have I got a strange one for you today? This was a weird ride. I'm not sure I enjoyed it. I think I did. Let's talk about The Ugly Stepsister. Directed by Emily Blichfeld, The Ugly Stepsister follows Elvira as she battles against her gorgeous stepsister in a realm where beauty reigns supreme. She resorts to extreme measures to captivate the prince amidst a ruthless competition for physical perfection. This was an uncomfortable watch. There's a mixture of genres at play here just in the score alone, never mind the visuals. It's a messed up version of the Cinderella story. We've seen many versions of the Cinderella stories before, and this one is throwing his hat in the ring, or rather its glass slipper in the ring, and saying, hey, check out what we can do. It's equal parts body horror and then equal parts melodrama story, trying to be preachy somewhat in places, and yet it had me hooked at the end. I felt a major lull in the middle. I felt like it outstayed its welcome for the majority of that middle sequence. But the acting from Leah Marin, who plays Elvira, she's a character that I loved to hate from the beginning to the end, and then left me feeling weird about the character at the end. And then we have Thea Sophie Loch Ness, who plays Agnes, who's supposedly, that sister who finds the gown. She has the fairy godmother who helps her. She's that character, and she is beautiful. And then we have Anna Dahl Torp, who plays Rebecca, who is the mother. She plays her character fantastic. None of the acting here is bad. The thing that makes it uneasy and an uncomfortable watch is the body horror, and then the story that goes along with the body horror. So it's a woman that is willing to do anything to her body so that she can be seen in a society that only grades women according to their looks, and then men can, reign supreme. It's not a film that hates on men. It's just a reflection of what it was at the times, more accurately than the Cinderella story does, at least the Disney version. But this is a really stark reality of almost being brainwashed to you believing, if I was this young girl trying to break my body into pieces, believing that that is the right thing to do, that's what I want for my life, and not realizing it until the very last moment. The things that you see from a nose operation to what they do to keep themselves thin was gross and uncomfortable, and at times I was like, yeah, this is a very interesting, different take on that. As a one-time watch, I think it is a sort of great thrill ride. Apart from that lull in the middle that I don't think it needed all of those scenes, but there is a fleshing out of some of the characters, a little bit. But mostly we just follow this really awkward ride of this character, Elvira, going down a spiral of, what you're willing to do to be looked at in a certain way. It's an obvious reflection, but is handled in a way that makes you think a little bit somewhat. It's a beautifully looking film. Sometimes the reflections are hyper contrast bright for the moments that is a thought of the young girl that wants to be in a certain situation. She'll have a dream, and you'll see that dream in physical form or in dream form as she's thinking about, or literally dreaming, and that is like really vibrant and oversaturated, and it's like almost sickly. And then you come back to the stark reality of what her world looks like, and you're like, yeah, okay, so she's totally living in a fake world in her mind, but believes it so 100% heartily that she has been Stockholm syndromed herself almost into believing that that's what is needed to be done. That's her validation. There is a sort of growing of the characters at the end, which I appreciate. But it does leave a couple of other thought processes hanging. Like this young girl who then, becomes the Cinderella character and getting her prince in the end. That story is done, but it's old. But the way they leave it hanging here with the story of the message that they had in the film, I felt like it did it a disservice not to follow that story a little bit towards the end of the film. They went with it, and that was fine. Like, a woman needs to be validated by another man. The story they were going for wasn't that. That wasn't the truth that they were going for. So it almost undoes everything that they were going for. So I liked it as a one-time watch. It made me feel squeamish in parts of the film. It dragged a little bit in the middle, but I'm not sad that I watched it. I'm going to give it 3 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
Okay, let's ride.
Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what version of the Cinderella movie, apart from the original, do you think does something clever that you've watched that is new? Are you going to check this one out? Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.